Hello there. This is the inaugural video for 101 Outdoors, a YouTube channel dedicated to helping you maximize your safety and enjoyment in the wilderness of North America. This video is on building a campfire in the wilderness with only what is around you for that day. First, though, I would like to share a concept with you called a sustained flame. A sustained flame gives what you found to make your campfire with time to light. It takes that edge off of having to build a campfire if conditions aren't perfect, for it will stay lit even if there is an evening wind, as can happen. As I just demonstrated, my sustained flame is a mixture of cotton and Vaseline lit with a flint and steel striker. Cotton and Vaseline is lightweight, and because of that, a large quantity can be carried with you in a waterproof container, and the striker can be used over and over again. I haven't used a match to light a campfire in 25 years, and that is the truth. The video will be broken down into 4 parts. First, I will be stressing the importance of putting out your campfire, how to do it, and what one looks like when it is dead out. The second part will be demonstrating how to make a perfect cotton and Vaseline fire starter ball with the perfect amount of Vaseline. Too much and it will be difficult to light. Too little and it won't stay lit for very long. Then finally we get to go out, heading to the wilderness and looking for materials to build a campfire with. I love this because sometimes you know what to look for, but other times if it's wet, you never know what you're going to find. I will not be planning a perfect weather day to make me look good. Then, the last part will be demonstrating how to build a campfire using cotton and Vaseline as our sustained flame in the conditions that day presents. If it happens to be a day where it's too wet and a campfire can't be built, I'll film it. And I will come back another day and film, hopefully, a successful campfire being built. There are times out there, folks, where it's just too wet. I'm excited because knowing how to build a campfire is one of the most important skills a person can have when entering the wilderness. And when leaving it, being able to show people how to put one out eases my mind. With that, let's put out our campfire. And get to it. Putting out a campfire before I show you how to build a campfire might seem out of order. But if you go away with one thing from this video, I wish it would be the importance of putting out your campfire. So this doesn't become this. The peace and beauty of our forests in North America is so great. We put out our campfires so we won't go crazy when all our forests will look like this. If we all do our part, we will be able to recharge and rejuvenate in these woods for generations. Your fire needs to be put out with water. But if it hasn't died down to the point where there's no flame, it'll make a giant mess if you pour water on it. If I poured water on this fire right now, it would rain and it would get on packs, and it wouldn't be a very friendly thing to do in camp. So before you pour water on it, you want to begin to stir it and just kind of get these big things down. And spread it out. Stir it first. There. Now we still have some flame. We still have hot coals, but it'll be less of a shock to camp. Use anything you have. Today I just happen to have this water bottle here. And I'm going to cut the top off it. Make sure and pick up garbage. Please don't burn plastic in campfire pits. It just makes a huge mess. And we're going to go down to the river. That fire is not dead out. And we're going to pour our water on it. More water. For all you observant people, in my introduction, you probably noticed that when I said, time to put out my campfire, and I smothered my sustained flame, and I left, there was still a little bit smoldering. It's very easy to leave a little bit of a campfire smoldering. It's not out. I'm gonna go dump some more water on this. That'll be the third one. Oh, there's a hot coal there. Right there, see it? More water. This will be the fourth one. There's that hot coal there. Alrighty. Now, once you've dumped your water on it, it's still smoking, but a lot of that's going to be just steam right now because it's very hot. But we want to be absolutely sure this is dead out. So use whatever you can find. Stir it. There's still some more in there. I think just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go get some more water. There we go. Now stir it some more. Now we're beginning to get some mud in here. And if you happen to pull out any large chunks of wood out of your fire, make sure they're totally out. I would say this fire is now dead out. I just held that piece of wood to my face to make sure there wasn't a lot of heat left. Now I would say it's all safe to leave. This method for making your cotton and Vaseline fire starter requires heating it to a liquid. Do not do it inside. It's not safe and it's real smelly. It'll stink up your house. It's best to do it outside on a nice day. Where everything's going to be okay. Do not leave it unattended at any time. If you get interrupted, simply turn off the stove. The pan you're going to use, make sure it has a lid. So if on the outside chance of something happens that you can't foresee and a fire does happen, simply do this. Fire out. If you do what this video instructs and how to do it, there's going to be no chance of a fire. Alrighty, so what you're going to need to do this is a waterproof container. This one is a very common container. I got it at Walmart. It's lightweight and it holds a lot of cotton and Vaseline fire starter. You're gonna need a platter to put the wet cotton and Vaseline on. You're gonna need something to scoop the Vaseline with. And you're also going to need something to stir it with. Obviously, you're going to need a tub of Vaseline. You need a bag of jumbo cotton balls. You're going to need a backpacking stove or some kind of a camp stove that can be used outside and has adjustable heat. And then, like I said earlier, you're going to need a pan with a lid, and it's best to make sure this pan isn't a good pan, because as you can see, this will become your dedicated cotton and Vaseline pan. And again, a pair of safety glasses. Okay, let's begin now. So you got your Vaseline here. Oh, petroleum jelly. I'm sorry, I've been calling it Vaseline. That's a name brand. It's like calling something a Band-Aid. So you want about 2 fairly large scoops. Ah, heck. Well, let's go 3. So yeah, have your Vaseline in there. And we're gonna get our stove lit here. My striker, I have no striker on this stove. I figure the strikers on all my camp stoves have never worked. All right, this heat is too much. Let's turn it down here. There we go. Get her on there. There we go. All right. It melts really fast. So you just start stirring it up. It's important to keep stirring it. I'm going to turn this heat down a bit. There we go. There we are. Hear it popping like that. Yeah. If it's doing too much of that, turn down your heat. And you're going to want to go until it's all liquid. Once you have your liquid, shut your heat off. Go to your cotton balls. And do quick dips. Quick dips. Very fast. That's all it takes is a quick dip. If you leave it in there too long, it will absorb too much Vaseline because it really soaks it up fast. I can't stress enough the importance of a quick dip. Oops. Uh-oh. I have run out, so I'm going to heat some more Vaseline up here and continue. It shouldn't get so hot that you're gonna burn your fingers, because you can only put in the bottom part in there. As you can see, this is a messy process. I'm sure there are cleaner people out there. I'm not one of them. Never have been. Never will be. As you can see, it hardly takes any time at all to get a relatively full tray of cotton and Vaseline balls. Now, I let them sit for 24 hours. Okay, it's been 24 hours, and we have our finished cotton and Vaseline fire starter. Now, here's your container that I highly suggest. I suggest it because I know it works, and it's very convenient. You simply just stuff these into your container. Don't worry about anything, just stuff them in there. I just want to show you how much cotton and Vaseline you can get in one of these containers. I stuff it in there fairly tight. Okay, let's see how we're doing there. So, a whole platter, you'll be able to get about half of it, which is, if you have a real high wilderness season from spring to fall, you'll probably go through a whole container of this stuff. Then when you're all done, wipe it off. Keep it in the top of your pack that you're going to be wearing all the time. That is that. Howdy, folks. I hope everyone's well. I said earlier I was gonna not choose a day to make me look good when it comes to building a fire and finding material to build a campfire. But it snowed a little bit. It's about 39, and it has been raining all week. So we're gonna attempt to find something out here today that will be useful in making a campfire. Okay, here we are. We're coming into our base camp here, or the wilderness classroom, or the wilderness training spot. Let me get my pack off here, and we will pick up from there. Alrighty, let's head on out here and see what we can find today. Boy, I got lucky today. What a beautiful day. All right, so you need 4 things out here to build a fire, a campfire. A sustained flame, which we already took care of with our cotton and Vaseline. Then you need tinder, which sounds like tiny fuel that catches fast and can be used to set number 3 on fire, which is medium-sized wood, small enough to burn, but not so big that it won't catch. Then number 4, you need your big heat wood, which is basically that wood you use while sitting around on the campfire in camp. Everybody's in their lawn chairs having a good time. I'm not so sure we'll be able to get to that level today. Who knows, though? Who knows? Let's look around. Keep an eye out. Everything looks wet. Well, our conditions here today seem to be pointing to looking under these old, downed, old growth trees that have fallen over. See how dry this is. When you're wearing gloves, you have to hold it up to your face. I am holding a knife, so I got to be careful about poking myself. Let's see what we got here. Oh, please be dry. It's soaking wet. Okay, so this was a bogus spot. It seemed promising. Well, don't give up though. Okay, I checked under those. Those are soaking wet. You can see under those logs there. But something I missed on my way out was right here. Look at down in here. It totally looks dry as can be. Well, hard to tell without holding it up to my face because I am wearing gloves, like I said earlier. Let's see what we can find under here. Oh, I think we have a winner. Let's see what we have here. Huh. It's extremely dry. Well, it looks like we're going to be burning this stuff. Or trying to. It's dry. It's dry. Okay, so we have a good supply in here of dry stuff. Totally dry. And we got a good supply in here of dry. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, we might have some big wood today. Look at that. Yeah. So this is what you have to do. You have to use your imagination and just be open. Oh, tinder. Tinder supply. Look at this. This stuff, it's rotten, but it's dry as paper. It's dry as paper, folks. It might be rotten, but it does burn. I mean, it won't burn as good as like small twigs from the inside of an evergreen tree, but it burns well. So we have our tinder here. We have found a source today. We have our tinder. We have our medium-sized wood. And we got lucky, and we got a source of our big heat wood. With that said, I'm going to start gathering it all here and hauling it back to our base camp. See you there. All right, before building a campfire, you need a suitable pit for it, a suitable place for it. As I've tried to do as best I could here, I have rocks here, and we're a little short on rocks, and it's too cold today to go to the river and pull up river rocks. My hands are already half frozen, and I have a dugout around here, and it's all mounded up here. So I got lucky. I got a giant piece of wood that's cup shaped. What you want to do when you're building a fire on a wet day like today is to take some of the medium-sized wood that you found and make a base and build it on top of that base so it's not touching the cold ground, because that cold ground it's wet, it's cold, and it will be harder for the fire to take off because things go from hot to cold. So that fire is going to have a harder time taking off. So when you put a base down, it insulates it from the cold, wet ground. Alrighty. So we made our cotton and Vaseline at home. So we have our sustained flame. Let me get some out here. Oops. Boy, I am glad it isn't pouring down rain. It has been raining here all week long, so the woods are wet. Okay, so you just tear that cotton into Vaseline. You knead it. Let's set her down here. And always be conscientious of keeping your sustained flame and striker dry. I know sometimes it's very simple to get in a hurry if you have people around, especially if you have cold people, but be mindful of keeping it dry. I'm putting my striker back. Okay, so let's see if we can do something here. Make a little base around it. Take some of that tinder we found. Yes, that's burning quite well. Thank you, Lord. Okay, now don't get carried away. Just kind of have to kind of go by what your tinder is doing. Now, don't put on too much too fast, or else it'll go out. And you gotta let them breathe as well. Let her breathe. Now I'm going to take this next little piece I got there. Kind of set this over there. Hopefully this will take off. I'll set this here. Now as you can see, I'm kind of building a platform. Just kind of see. Now I organize my wood over here. My fire pit here is being conducive to a platform fire. Oh, let her breathe. See what I have here. This piece of wood we found is quite amazing for our base. The thing that I thought would be big heat wood turns out to be an incredible base for a fire. Look for things like that. Use your imagination. There is so much out here. Use your imagination. Oh, whew, it's crackling. That's a good thing. All right, let's see if we can't go from a platform to maybe a teepee. Have to be careful about them burning up my jacket. Have to latch my sleeves here. Okay, we might be able to. Since we don't have perfect cut cord wood, sometimes it's a little difficult, but use your imagination. it ain't gonna work. Oh, my hands are defrosting. Now I'm just going to start. I think we have enough flame here to. Now we can kind of begin to build a teepee-like thing. I just got a little carried away there. As I was sitting next to my fire, I realized something that I did not take into consideration in a snow-filled environment or a snowy site. You have to be conscientious of where your fire is, because what's above you on a snowy day? Jack London wrote a short story called "To Build a Fire." And the guy finally gets a fire going, but he doesn't realize he's built it under a snow-loaded evergreen tree. He was about to die. He got his fire going. He thought he was saved, but the snow fell onto the fire from the heat and put it out. And Jack London's story ends with him dying because his hands got so frozen he was no longer able to function. So, just a food for thought. When you build this on a snowy day in a snowy environment, be conscientious of that. Snow-loaded trees. I just wanted to show everyone how the fire turned out. I did find big heat wood, even though I said we might not. We got lucky. But this is what you're shooting for. Thanks again for watching, and if you liked what you saw, come again, tune in again, and I'm going to be testing gear. I'm going to be doing technique and more instructional things like this, and it will always be in the setting. If I'm going to test gear, I'm going to test it in the setting. If I'm going to show everybody technique, it'll be in the setting. So I'm gonna go enjoy this fire. Thanks again for watching.